How are you feeling today? Yeah, you're good, good. I'm glad. So you're here to be our student hair model today, is that correct? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now I do recognize your wonderful face, so I know that you have been here before. Yeah. So you're familiar with the general setup of the training and the way in which the day will go. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And I was just reading your notes before, and I can see that you're in for a color correction today with our student. Yeah, okay. All right, so I can see that there's quite a few colors going on, isn't there? We do have a little bit of stripiness, don't we? Okay, that's absolutely fine. Now, would you feel comfortable explaining the process that you've used with your hair to our student? Is that okay? Yeah, it just really helps us decide what we can actually do going forward, and just gives us a better understanding as to what we're working with and what they can actually apply to your hair today. Okay. If you can just lean forward for me, sweetie. Thank you. Okay. The ends don't look too bad at all, do they? So it feels like the ends are in really good condition as well, which is good. Okay, so our student today is Jessica. So you haven't met Jessica before. She is one of our first year hair students. So I will be offering a high level of support today for her, okay? She is, of course, fabulous, and she's doing really well in her training, but as this is her first color correction, I will be involved quite heavily in the process, okay? Just to make sure she feels really comfortable and confident, and of course, we want to achieve a really good result for you today as well, okay? So I will go ahead and bring Jessica in, and then you can explain what you've used on your hair, if that's okay. Yeah, perfect. Can I get you a drink whilst I'm getting Jessica? No, you're sure? Just go ahead and let me know at any point if you do want a drink, okay? All right. Okay, Jessica, so I know you two haven't met before. This is, of course, Jessica, our student today, and this is our lovely client. This lady actually comes in quite often to help with our students, so we are really appreciative, and it's always really nice to see her. Okay, so I did let you know beforehand that we are doing a color correction today, okay? So what I think we should do to begin with is just examine the hair, okay? We really don't want to be recommending a course of action before we've actually looked at the hair itself, okay? So if you're in agreement, that's what I think we should do to start with. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and I will talk you through what we're looking for, so don't worry about that. Now, our lovely client is going to just explain what she's actually popped onto the hair and how we've arrived at this result today, okay? All right. Yeah, so you're strawberry blonde naturally, okay? But you used a dark brown box dye, okay? Now, do you know what color that was, what shade it was, what number? Yeah, a 5.3, okay. So Jessica, I do like to ask that because even though we don't typically recommend box dyes, they do generally follow the same number levels as professional colors, okay? So a level 5 in a box dye would probably correspond to about a 4.7, 4.8, okay? All right. Okay, and then you felt like the box dye has gone a little bit dark, particularly at the top. Okay, so Jessica, if you can see here, I'm just going to part that hair a little bit. Can you see how we have such a beautiful golden color there, but we have this splotchiness, and that is really indicative of where the dye has just deposited, because the hair is really healthy there, so it's really just clung. I'll just show you the contrast. Can you see there we have this nice golden color, but then we've got that splotchiness there. Okay. All right, so after you used the box dye, yeah, you put some bleach on. Okay. Do you know what number that was? What percentage of volume? Yeah, you think about 12%. Okay. All right. It is, Jessica. Yeah, so that is just a little bit high, but that's absolutely okay. It is really difficult to know what colors and numbers to choose, so that's absolutely not your fault. Don't worry about that, sweetie. Okay. Yeah, and then you felt like it didn't lift enough. Okay, so you applied it again. Okay, and the same number 12. Yeah, 12%. Okay, all right. So since the second application of bleach, has anything else gone on the hair? So any toners, colorants, purple shampoos? No, you just kind of left it. Okay, all right. So Jessica, I just want to draw your attention as well, just here, if you can see at the back. Yeah, okay, so we can see that the color is quite stubborn here again, and it's left some dark brown splotches, hasn't it? Okay, all right. Just gonna have a look at the general condition as well. And let's have a look. So when we're looking at the condition, what we can do is just take the ends here and we can just sort of twist it. And then what I like to do to test the elasticity is just kind of pull the hair a little bit like that. And can you see, even though the hair has been under quite a lot of stress, it's still really good and healthy. We can see that there's a lot of elasticity still there. Okay. All right. Just going to get a comb just to make a few sections with your hair. Okay. So Jessica, what are we thinking today then? What do we think would be the best course of action for our client? And we need to take into consideration the process that the hair has just gone through, the current condition, and also the client's preferences, of course, because we don't want to take them in a direction that they're not wanting to ultimately go. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely perfect. So we would be thinking about minimizing further damage, but also addressing the issues that we have, which is the banding and the splotches. Absolutely fabulous, Jessica. Yeah, that's completely correct. And how do you think we would go about doing that today? Perfect. Yeah, so we would need to slightly darken the hair, and we don't want to be applying any more bleach. Absolutely. Okay. And in terms of levels, what would you say with regards to the level? What level do you think we would need to be taking our lovely client to today? Yeah, so I would agree. Yeah, probably about a level or two darker. Okay. All right. Now, what I suggest we do is show our clients some examples of the color we could actually do today. Our client has already said to us that she felt as though the level 5 was too dark, so that's something we definitely need to take into consideration when we're selecting our color. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. This is the first option that I have chosen. I will just show Jessica as well. You can see. Yeah, okay. All right. So we can see that this one, this lady here, we can see that it is a blend of different colors. I'll just show you a little bit closer so you can see. We can see the ends. Yeah, they're still a little bit golden, but we do have the coolness brought in as well. Yeah, so it is a little bit difficult to see past the haircut, isn't it, if you're not so keen on that. But you do like it. Yeah, you feel like it's light and you feel like it will flatter your complexion, okay? Yeah, because as much as we need to correct the color, like I said, we obviously want to take you in a direction that you're ultimately wanting to go. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, so we would be able to mix in a little bit of your natural root color in there as well, which I think will be less maintenance as well when it actually comes through. Yeah. Okay, you're a little bit undecided about that. I will just kind of explain to Jessica why I have chosen this one, okay? So of course I just mentioned we could still have the root coming, exactly, we could still have that root coming through and it would just look really beautiful blended in with these mixture of more of cool tones there, and then of course we have the warm there. That's still really nice. Okay, now the second one that I have chosen is this one here. So we can see that there, Jessica. So what do we think about that one? Yeah, you instantly like this one better. Okay. So we can see that the ends, they still have a little bit of golden in, but they're just not quite as golden as the color that you have on at the moment. And you can see that the root is a little bit darker. I do think something to bear in mind with this particular hair color is that your roots may be a little bit more noticeable. And of course, Jessica, that is something we have to be really transparent with when we're talking to our client, particularly because you can see here this color. Can you see how if the roots came through quite warm, which our client does have very warm roots, there may be a little bit of contrast there, which I think would draw people's eye, and not necessarily in a good way. Okay. But what we could do is, you can see that it is a little bit on this lady, a little bit darker. We could go a little bit, just a fraction bit warmer, so that your roots may not look as noticeable. Yeah. You love the ends on this. Yeah, so we can definitely achieve the ends like that for sure, because your hair at the end as well is in really good condition, so we wouldn't need to be worrying about the way it looks. Sometimes, Jessica, you probably know, if the hair is in quite poor condition, the color just doesn't really sit very well, but I would be quite confident today that we could achieve this. Yeah, okay. All right. Let me just show you my third option. Let's have a look. Okay. So this is an option that I picked out. Jessica, I'll show you first, of course. Yeah, it's really beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so this is another possible option. It is a lot warmer, of course, and the difference with this one is that it's pretty consistent throughout, so that in contrast to the other ones where you had the different you had a contrast of the cools and the warms and the neutrals, this one is pretty consistently warm. There's maybe a little bit more warmth towards the front there, so we could definitely achieve that, or we could just cool it down a little bit. Yeah, you're thinking it's a little bit too warm. Okay. It is, so it is quite considerably darker as well, so I do feel like your roots would be quite noticeable with this one as well. Yeah, so definitely the second option. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So let's go back to that. I did think you would like the second option the best, actually. Let's have a look again. So this one we can see as well, this is going to be really easy to achieve. Yeah, and I do think it would work really well with her complexion as well. So we're definitely going with something very similar to this as the final result today. Yeah, okay. So what me and Jessica are going to do then is just have a quick discussion about what colors we're going to mix to achieve this. And we are going to be applying quite a few different shades on your hair today, okay? But no bleach, so you don't need to worry about any further damage. All of the products we're using today are super gentle and they will feel and smell really good as well, okay? All right. Is there anything that you wanted to ask about the process? It is. So we're not doing any highlights per se, but because we're blending the different colors in for the different sections, you will actually get this beautiful highlighted look. Yeah, your hair is in really good condition, and I do think, as I said before, when the hair is in really good condition, we can almost achieve an identical result as the photograph. Yeah, okay, all right. So Jessica, what we will do is go ahead and mix some colors up. I'm thinking probably using a mixture of 6.3, probably, let's have a look, probably a 7 on the ends there, maybe even an 8.3. We could, if we wanted to go a little bit more ashy, we could. I would suggest that because we're wanting to keep more of a golden tone towards the ends, I would suggest that we possibly wouldn't use that on our client today, but it is a really good suggestion if someone wanted to go a little bit ashy. Okay, so perfect. Well done for thinking along those lines. That's really good. Okay. All right. What are you thinking for the banding, Jessica? What are you thinking color-wise? Perfect. I was thinking exactly the same, so I'd probably go for about a 7.8 there as well. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and mix those colors up in the back, and then we can pop back and apply those on you, okay? Do you think that there's anything in regards to sectioning that we need to be a little bit careful of? Yeah, perfect. You're really good, Jessica. I know you lack a bit of confidence, but actually all of your suggestions are really good, and we're thinking along the same lines, which is a really good sign. So yeah, we do need to be really careful with the sizing of the sections because of the splotchiness. We really want to make sure we're covering that splotchiness, so we need to go really small with the sections. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, sweetie. So we are going to go and mix those colors up, and then we will be right back with you, okay? Okay, are you okay carrying both of those? You're sure? Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right. So I have set up a little station for you to use there, so we both have our own stations. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right. Now I will just show you the color does look a little bit funky. It looks a little bit green, just to warn you when it goes on the hair. Of course it won't look green, okay? It's just we use a new range of colors, and we have to warn our clients because quite a few clients have been a little bit startled at the color, but it is, like I said, it doesn't actually sit on your hair green. It actually changes to a darker color straight away on the hair. Okay. All right. So Jessica, what I'm going to do is start the sections. Like you said before, we do need to be a little bit mindful of the sizes, okay? So I will just show you what I'm thinking of. Let's get that. And what we want to be doing is probably getting a section around this size. Just going to clip that there. And probably that there. So if I give you another clip, are you okay to section a little bit at the back? Perfect, thank you. Just gonna get, you do have such thick hair, don't you? I can't imagine how difficult this must be to style every day, because it's so beautiful, but really, really thick. Okay. Yeah, so that's a perfect section size, thank you. Okay. Just get that really nice. Okay, probably. There, yeah, that's good. I'd probably just suggest a little bit less hair there. There we go. Okay. Just get another clip. When you're taking the sections at the back, Jessica, what you want to be really careful with is, can you see there we have a real splotchiness? And what we want to do with that is make sure actually that we're probably just taking about that much there, because if we take any more than that, actually we risk not addressing that splotchiness. Okay. And if you can just lean towards me, thank you. We're going to apply the color now, okay? I am going to be using some foils just to separate the different colors, okay? I want to make sure the colors are not running, and it's really good if we use the foils. It kind of creates that separation, okay? All right. So, Jessica, are you comfortable if you just cover this section for me here with the 5.9, please? I think that's what's going to really bring out that beautiful tone there. Okay. And I will go ahead and apply this one here. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Yeah, don't worry about it at all. So you can just adjust the clip if you feel like it's got a little bit, if you've just pulled a little bit of hair from the other side, don't worry at all. It's absolutely fine. I'll just adjust that clip for you. There you go, sweetie. Is that all right? It's okay. It just takes practice, I think, with the sections. Don't worry. It's always fixable, so don't worry. Yeah. And are you comfortable with going to the next section now? Would that be okay? So you've done a perfect job there. What I would say is just to make sure you're working. There we go. Yeah, just make sure that every section you do, you're probably going to want to adjust the section exactly like that. Just adjust the section adjacent just to make sure that you're not pulling any hair across, okay? That's much more important when you're actually applying bleach to the hair, but again, it's just really good practice to start to do that with every color application, okay? Now I'm just going to apply, Jessica, just a little bit of root color as well, just before you close that foil, if that's okay. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because we can see, as we discussed before, there's that really strong, stubborn section there, isn't there? So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of 5.8 and just apply that directly to the root, okay? So I'm just going to adjust the foil there a little bit and just apply that directly to the root there. Does that feel okay on your scalp? It's not irritating? No, good. It shouldn't be, but I do just like to make sure that it feels okay for you. It does. It is actually scented with apple, that particular color. It smells gorgeous, doesn't it? Every time I apply it, it reminds me of being on vacation somewhere. It's such a beautiful scent. Okay, so that's okay there, Jessica. So yeah, you can go ahead as you were. You're doing a beautiful job. There as well, just to make sure that it gets in there. Okay. Yeah, so you're doing really well. Don't worry about it. So that, again, if we just get a tiny section of hair coming out, you can just go ahead and pop it back in. Don't worry about it. You can just adjust it in there like that. Perfect. Okay. All right, just going to adjust these foils a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now I am just going to spray a little bit of protection on your hair as well, okay? It just helps to seal in the color that we've used, and it also just helps to avoid any unnecessary damage, okay? So we'll just cover your eyes because this actually, it can be really irritating if it gets in your eyes. Okay, so Jessica, I would typically use this if the client has used any bleach on their hair in the last sort of 48 to 72 hours, okay? All right. Okay, yeah, beautiful section in there, Jessica, absolutely. All right. So what we're going to do now is just leave all that to process on your hair, okay? It's probably going to take about 40 minutes. And then we'll give you a really nice scalp massage at the wash basin as well. Rinse everything off and then bring you back in, and you can let us know what you're wanting in regards to your finish today. Now, I know you did say in your consultation notes that you absolutely don't want anything cut off. Are you sure we can't tempt you to just a little bit of a trim of the ends? No, you're definitely set. You don't want to have anything trimmed off. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Jessica, it's really important, obviously, if somebody mentions that they don't want anything trimmed off, even if we feel like they may just, I mean, your hair is beautiful anyway, the ends look really good. I would possibly have just advised to have a little bit trimmed off, but I know it's absolutely your prerogative if you don't want to. And again, Jessica, obviously we respect the wishes of our client today. I probably would say that, as I said, our client has beautiful hair, but if they didn't and the ends were a little bit more on the damaged side, I probably would try and kind of push it a little bit more, but I know it's difficult because ultimately we do have to respect what our client is asking us to do. Okay, all right, so we'll leave that to process, and then we'll come and collect you and take you over to the wash basin. Okay, all right, sweetie. Sure, I can't get you a drink, anything to eat? Yeah, you'll have a black coffee, absolutely. So we'll go ahead and get you that. Any snacks? No, okay. And then we'll take you to the wash basin afterwards, okay? Can I get you a magazine or anything to read? Yeah, we do. I think it's quite an old magazine, actually, maybe from a few months ago. Is that all right? Yeah, let me just have a look what we have. I have been trying to update our magazine collection, but the one we have out here is actually a little bit old, but I'll pass you that to look through, and I'll go ahead and make your coffee, okay? All right. Okay, are you comfortable in that position? Your neck isn't straining? No? Good. Okay. So Jessica and I are just going to remove the foils and rinse out your color and then put the conditioning treatment on, okay? All right. So I do like to focus the scalp massage a little bit more around the base of the skull. I do find that is what tends to be most tense. Okay, sweetie, so if you just take a seat back there, and I will just give your hair a bit of a towel dry. It is very dry already, actually. The heated towel works really well for that. Okay. Just remove that and pop that there. Okay, so Jessica, what are you thinking? Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. It's taken so well, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. So the roots have really done better than you were expecting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so sometimes, especially at the beginning of our careers, it can be quite difficult actually to gauge what the hair is going to look like, even when we're applying the color. But yeah, I know what you mean. You were a little bit surprised and didn't expect it to take so well. Okay. Yeah, so you will just get used to it as your career progresses. You will kind of have a little bit of an eye for how you think things are going to take, and you'll start to put things together like that. So don't worry about that at the moment. Okay. And can you see how the condition has remained really beautiful as well? There's no damage, there's no extra frizz. It just looks really beautiful, doesn't it? Okay. All right. Now, I think what we'd probably want to do is probably just give it a little bit of a blow dry with the blow dryer. It is very dry already, but I do think there's a little bit of dampness there that we just need to make sure is completely removed, okay? Now, are you wanting a particular style today? What are your thoughts on how you wanted it finished? Yeah. So maybe just a little bit more volume. Okay. Do you want a specific type of curl pattern, or are you wanting it? No, just a little bit more volume sort of here. Okay. But not a defined curl. All right, absolutely. So Jessica, what do you think we could do to kind of achieve that for our client today? Yeah, absolutely. So I was thinking along the same lines as well. So what I would suggest is we use some rollers whilst we're blow drying the hair, or we can blow dry the hair a little bit first, apply the rollers, and then go back in with some heat. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right. Now, Jessica, do you want to blow dry a little bit, and then I can do the next section? Do you want to kind of take it in turns with the sections? Yeah, would that be okay? All right. As I said, the hair is mostly dry, so we don't need to necessarily do this step for too long, but it is good just to get a little bit of that dampness out. Okay. Just pass that to you, and if you could just do that a little bit there, I think it's a little bit on the damp side too. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, beautiful. And I will take that from you now and just do this section. Yeah, you can see the colors looking even more beautiful, can't you? Okay. Alright, let's start to apply some of the rollers. So I'll pass you that one, Jessica. And you can see there's a slight difference in size. So I would typically use these towards the front and these towards the back, okay? Unless the client has specified that she wants really tight curls, in which case I would, yeah, I'd use a smaller one, but these are really good for achieving the look we're going for today, okay? So I will pass you that one. There. Yeah, so you just roll it like that. Perfect. And then just want to kind of squeeze it a little bit to make sure that the hair stays in there. Perfect. Okay. And if I go ahead and give you one of the large ones, and yeah, if you work on that section, perfect. Just secure that in there. So we're gonna go ahead and let these sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? And then would you be okay with us taking some after photographs? Yeah, perfect, okay. I just think it's really good to see the before and after. I know you sent the before shots to us as part of your consultation, so it's really nice to just contrast those two photographs, okay? I may be a little bit biased, but I do think the result actually looks better than the inspiration photo that we were working with, so I'm really pleased with the result, and I know, yeah, you are too, of course, okay. All right, so what I would say, Jessica, if you're comfortable, is in about 5 to 10 minutes, are you okay taking the rollers out and just kind of finishing the hair off a little bit, maybe add some shine spray if you wanted to, and then just giving me a shout when you're done and I will come and take the photographs, okay? All right, sweetie, okay.